Hey, it's Tim Miller with the Bulwark, and during the debate, Vivek decided that he wanted to drop a whole list of conspiracy theories during the third, pretty much meaningless Republican presidential debate. And I'm here to deconstruct every single one. Here's the first so-called truth from Vivek.
Why am I the only person on the stage, at least, who can say that January 6th now does look like it was an inside job?
This is the stupidest one of all. January 6th was not an inside job. Well, technically it was an inside job, not in the way that Vivek means. It was an inside job because the sitting president of the United States orchestrated and incited the attack on the Capitol.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
So it was inside and it was coming from inside the house, inside the White House. But the way that he means it, that it was an inside job where this was some setup. So let's just think about how this purportedly went down. Okay, you have some people in the FBI and they're saying to themselves, hey, the way that we can really embarrass MAGA is we're gonna stand in a crowd at what is supposedly a peaceful protest. And we're gonna tell everybody, hey guys, let's charge the Capitol. Let's attack the police officers. Let's break windows. Let's go into Nancy Pelosi's office and steal shit. All of these supposedly peaceful protesters were just gonna be like, hell yeah? And you know what? They've all had to go in front of juries, not the deep state. None of them said, hey, wasn't planning on charging the Capitol until a Fed boy told me I should, and then I did. That hasn't happened in any of these trials. Many of them blame Trump. So this is a nonsense conspiracy theory, and if you have any friends or any family that are still pushing this nonsense, that the FBI did this, please send them this video. Okay, here's Vivek's second conspiracy theory.
The government lied to us for 20 years about Saudi Arabia's involvement in 9/11.
That's just not true. In the 2004 9/11 Commission, it talked about how Saudis were the primary funding location for Al-Qaeda and how 15 of the 19 hijackers were Saudi citizens. In 2012, the FBI stated that it had evidence that a Saudi diplomat and radical cleric who served at the mosque in Los Angeles was a Saudi government agent and had supported the 9/11 hijackers. In 2021, the FBI sent out more evidence that it was Saudi. So Vivek just doesn't read, I guess. Everybody has known that Saudi was involved in 9/11. That's why when Trump and these other golfing jabronis went and took Saudi money to start an alternative golf tour, the victims' families of 9/11 that protested. Okay, here's the next one.
The Great Replacement theory is not some grand right-wing conspiracy theory, but a basic statement of the Democratic Party's platform.
Here's what the Great Replacement theory is. It is being pushed by far-right racist radicals that we are importing immigrants that are non-white as part of some grand plan to change the makeup of the country, to make it more black and brown in order to turn America into a more socialist country because many black and brown people come from socialist countries. The Great Replacement theory has inspired many mass shootings targeting black and brown people in New Zealand and Buffalo and elsewhere, if you look at the manifestos of the shooters. And the idea that this is some Democratic plot also, just like the January 6th conspiracy theory, makes no sense. In both parties, up until Donald Trump came down the escalator, having an immigration system that welcomes legal immigrants was something that was common and advanced by Reagan, by H.W. Bush.
We're talking about putting up a fence. Why don't we work out some recognition of our mutual problems, make it possible for them to come here legally with a work permit, and then while they're working and earning here, they pay taxes here. And when they want to go back, they can go back and they can cross and open the border both ways.
If they're living here, I don't want to see a whole thing of 6- and 8-year-old kids being made, one totally uneducated and made to feel that they're living with outside the law. Let's address ourselves to the fundamentals. These are good people, strong people. Part of my family is a Mexican.
By W. Bush, by McCain, by Romney, a little bit to a lesser degree. And the other thing is, new immigrants that come into the country don't even vote immediately. It's a long process in order to be able to vote. Okay, let's look at his next conspiracy theory.
The 2020 election was indeed stolen by big tech.
I don't even really know what this means. There was no stolen election in 2020. Donald Trump lost in 2020 because Donald Trump was so appalling and so abhorrent, and people were so sick of him that more people ever in history came out to vote against him. There was no big tech conspiracy. The Twitter throttling of Hunter Biden's, the Hunter Biden story was not great. I opposed it. But again, it wasn't part of the conspiracy. If you look at the internal Twitter files, like these people, this is like the Keystone Cops. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. And they tried to fix it as quickly as they can. It was basic human error, and plenty of people got to know that information. And this election wasn't going to be swung based on what's happening on Twitter, despite what the very online Vivek and the rest have to say. And here's the conspiracy de resistance of the Trump crowd.
The 2016 election, the one that Trump won for sure, was also one that was stolen from him by the national security establishment that actually put up the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that they knew was false.
Anybody that's actually read the Mueller report knows how ridiculous this is. During the 2016 campaign, Russia hacked Hillary Clinton. They hacked the DNC. They released emails in an effort to harm Hillary Clinton's campaign and help Trump's. Trump cheered on these efforts.
If Russia or China or any other country has those emails, I mean, to be honest with you, I'd love to see them. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails.
It was inevitable and obvious that our security services would investigate this. And the idea that this was some plot to stop Trump is crazy, because the FBI didn't even publicize anything of this till after he'd already won. And if these people were out to stop Trump, these are the stupidest deep state plotters in history. I mean, the FBI, in the final weeks of the campaign, crushed Hillary by announcing that they were doing an investigation into her, and then at the same time leaked to the New York Times that they don't see any evidence of direct Trump-Russia collusion at that time. So, like, this notion that the 2016 campaign is somehow marred is insane. So despite the fact that Vivek was out there saying the most insane things that has ever been said on a presidential debate stage by somebody other than Donald Trump, it was relatively unchallenged. And so I thought it was important to go through it, each of these statements one at a time. We all have the folks in our lives that are, maybe spending a little bit too much time down the Facebook rabbit hole. And so hopefully this video can be a resource for them. We'll be back with more for the Bulwark. Make sure to subscribe to our page. We'll see you soon. Hey, if you like this video and our content, I'd love for you to become a Bulwark Plus member. You get bonus podcasts, you get bonus newsletters, you get bonus takes from me that maybe don't come up on the YouTube feed. You can try it out for free at thebulwark.com/free trial. The link is below in the description. We'd love to have you as a member of our community. We have great commenters and great opportunities for people who want to protect democracy.